Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. 2024 Acura ZDX
Type S with unofficial launch control.
24 kilowatt launch.
Not bad.
Pretty quick, horsepower and torque.
499 horsepower, 544 pound-feet of torque in sport mode from a 102 kilowatt-hour battery and 2 electric motors.
What do you think of that sound?
I don't actually mind it that much.
It is not really that intrusive.
It's not as offensive as the Prologue.
But when I come to a stop, does it hum as loud as the Prologue?
Let's find out. It's quieter.
Much quieter. If I put it in park, it goes away, I think.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Launch it again. Just floor it, just floor it. Noticeably slower than just doing a brake boost.
Okay, and since this is based off the Blazer, since it is based off a GM vehicle, we could probably do neutral drops. Maybe you'll test that out later, I don't know.
Probably not. I don't want to break this thing. It's a pre-production vehicle, and this is also the Acura version of the Honda Prologue, which we also recently reviewed, but this is the Type S, making it the fastest one. However, horsepower-wise, the Blazer SS still gets more power.
And there is an A-spec version of the ZDX, and yes, we're gonna call it ZDX, not ZDX, because this was designed in the California Acura Design Studio, which means America, which means Z, not Z, plus Z sounds silly.
ZDX sounds kind of psychotic.
I've converted to being a full American when it comes to saying the letter Z, so subscribe for America.
Corvette Z06 has completely changed me into a full-out American. But also shout out Canada.
Z28 though.
Yeah.
Hop in your Iraq Z28 and take your ass home.
From the outside, the first thing you notice to make this a Type S instead of an A-spec
The yellow calipers!
That is true.
You get Brembos in the front. I knew you weren't going to say that, but I wanted to point that out.
You get the yellow calipers based off the EV precision concept, which is different than the precision concept.
Yes.
And then you have a two-tone black roof for the Type S, and you can get 2 exclusive colors in the Type S. Tiger Eye Pearl, which is this one, which looks totally awesome, and a cool new blue.
Double Apex Blue Pearl.
So do you like the looks of this?
I really, really like the looks of this.
I love it too. My favorite part is that the bottom part is silver on like all of them.
Yep.
It reminds me of older SLs.
Ah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, like a two-tone thing.
Cool.
They're bringing back two-tone, okay.
Yeah, and then we've got the same kind of style grille from Acura, same headlights and taillights as like every Acura, but we have a surround that is lit up on this grille.
It's lit, as the kids would say.
Lit.
It actually does look really good. We don't have a frunk on this one. We just have a large Acura cover as well.
Yeah, I don't think the Prologue had a cover on it, and that's cool. And then in that grille, it's got that starry kind of material pattern, whatever it was, that was in like every other Acura, but this is just built in because you don't need air intakes.
Yeah, and then it's got active shutters and stuff for for battery range and things like that, because yes, this is a full EV.
And then from the side, do you think they did a good job of converting like the Prologue and Blazer into an Acura? Does it look nice to you?
Yeah, like if I saw this next to a Prologue, it's different enough that I wouldn't think it's the same.
Yeah, I think it looks good. The only thing that I think is not the best is from the front 3/4, the roof at the back.
Right.
Like, I think if you blacked out that chrome, it would look better. It just looks a little like weird, because in my head, I'm like, ZDX, let's get a cool old hatchback SUV car thing. My neighbor has one. I asked him if I could buy it when they're done with it, so hopefully I can get that and dump it.
My guess is why they did that is to kind of give it this sportier silhouette to make it look a little bit smaller, because what all these companies are doing to hide the size of all these vehicles is painting the roof and the bottoms different colors.
Yeah, except for the bottom silver doesn't help with that, but it looks so much cooler.
It still does look sleek from the side because of all that.
And then there's at least 2 options for wheels. These ones that look super awesome, and then a blacked out version, which I don't like at all.
But we do get 22s, which is the largest wheel that Acura's ever offered, just like Honda with the Prologue.
Yeah, and what would be the Continental recommended tire for a ZDX?
This comes with a factory option for the Continental Premium Contact 6, which is a self-sealing tire, and that is the performance option for this car, so shout out Continental.
Let's get that. Everyone get that when you order one on tsp.truecar.com.
Yes, and also, go get yourself some summer tires. There's a promo right now. Click the link in the top comment.
You got the Summers on your car?
Absolutely. I got the Extreme Contact Sport 02, which is included in that promotion.
I got the Cross Contact LX25 on my Mazda.
Shout out. All right, so back to this car. I really do like how it looks. Back end, kind of shapely but good, and the taillights are nice and, you know, LEDs and stuff, but we've noticed something strange where they kind of look like they don't really connect at certain
they
angles.
look like they don't exist from the rear three-quarter. Like they needed to move like the lightness out to the farther out.
Yeah.
But like from straight back, it looks cool. It looks really like chunky and like clunky from the back.
And then we have that E badge, which the Honda also had. So I guess that's their Honda and Acura electric thing.
We should probably listen to it
from the outside.
Little ghost cemetery-ish.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
not the worst. Not as loud as a CR-V hybrid or a Honda Prologue. Maybe Acura gets it toned down a bit.
I feel like maybe all the additional insulation also helps in here as well.
But even from outside, it's not as loud.
Yeah, maybe that was an earlier pre-production. Probably not, though. Oh, one thing we did notice is that during the launch control, we don't get any crazy crackling sounds like we did with the Prologue.
Yeah, that was nice. Except you really need to put your foot to the floor or it'll try to sneak out on you.
Yeah, like the brakes barely hold this thing back. Even though we have Brembo like 6 pistons in the front, it still has so much torque.
And then I think this is looks. We got a nice moonroof. Fair. I like moonroofs. It's nice.
Yes, you do.
It's really nice.
It is really nice.
Okay,
Lots of light
and then power tailgate.
Yep.
No lock button on the back, just a close button. And a ton of trunk room. Very, very practical. And then we have 2 buttons that we can drop the middle seats down. Middle seats. Back seats.
Yes.
It's not a 3-row.
It is not.
And I don't know if it ever will be. Probably not. This is a one and done car, I think.
Yeah.
Because after this, I think Acura needs to start, and Honda needs to start building their own electric cars.
And there's rumors that they're going to build a facility to do that, or at least the batteries in Ontario.
So but what a good name to take, ZDX, because it's like a one and done car.
Yeah, there's no like real heritage other than that.
Other than the Avengers movies.
Oh, I don't watch any of those, so the real heritage is just like the thing that it looked like, just this futuristic. It was ahead of its time.
Is this ahead of its time?
This I think is current.
Appropriate for its time.
The old one was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still looks amazing.
Like the Cross Tour.
Yeah, the same car.
I know.
Same. Like different.
Is that meme still relevant by the time we post this video?
I don't think any memes we like are relevant because we're old.
We find out about them way too late.
So before we talk about handling and more power stuff, there are a lot of cool things on the interior that I think are very important. Not materials either. I want to talk about the tech because this has Google built in and it's an electric car. If you need to find a charging station, you can find a charging station through your Google Maps in the infotainment and it works really well. If you plan a route really far away, it'll tell you where to stop. No guarantee those chargers will work, but it does make an effort to get you there with charging.
And if you use the built-in Google Maps to get to your charging station, it'll actually precondition the battery so that you can charge even faster when you get there.
Or you can manually precondition it through the infotainment, but you can't get voice to do that. And then also when you're in Google Maps, it'll show your Google Maps in your gauge cluster, which is awesome. But if you have Apple CarPlay hooked up and you do your directions in Apple CarPlay, it'll show your Apple CarPlay directions in your gauge cluster, but it won't show your Google Maps from CarPlay in your gauge cluster, which makes sense because it's like brands competing with each other.
Right, when you said Apple CarPlay, you meant to say Apple Maps.
Yes. It'll show Apple Maps in the gauge cluster if you're using CarPlay.
That's right.
But it won't show your Google Maps in the gauge cluster if you're using CarPlay.
Yeah, you have to default back to the built-in Google Maps.
Which is fine, you know?
It's interesting, but I get why they did that.
So with that, we can also say directions to Montreal.
Just a moment. Montreal is 5 hours, 24 minutes from your location by car in light traffic.
We've got 5 bars of
It's loading the route. It's got a lot of thinking to do. Where you're going to charge, how long you're going to charge for.
It did work way faster than this earlier.
When we were parked, yeah.
We're still waiting for this to load. Pre-production vehicle. I don't think it's going to go. We got to cancel it and start over. Oh, can't connect to Google.
Retry. There, we didn't even touch it. -7.
There we go. 2 charging stops, 1 hour and 7 minutes of charging. So the total trip time is 6 hours and 48 minutes. And we will arrive with 30% battery.
The next test I'd like to try. Hey, play SiriusXM Channel 9.
Streaming 90s on 9 from SiriusXM, music, sports, and news.
All right, officially better than a BMW as well.
Sorry, something went wrong. When it's safe, please try opening the app to continue.
It made a really solid effort.
Something went wrong.
Pre-production vehicle.
So let's see if we can precondition our battery from Google as well. fast charge prep the battery.
On the website Chevrolet.com, they say, fast charge prep, you should start preconditioning up to 30 minutes away from the charging station for the best performance.
Okay. Chevrolet, eh?
Chevrolet, yeah, hey, man.
Okay.
It's doing its best. Yeah. This is a good transitionary car.
Yes, and then I do see a camera button over here. So do we have 360 cameras here?
We have 360 cameras, and we can program that up to the left. I don't know if we can program to the top as well, but it is nice to have it one click away, and it's really, really high res, like unbelievably high res. We have parking assist and all that cool stuff. We have a special cruise control mode, but I'm going to let you talk about that.
Oh, thank you. But icons at the top, because this is a GM Ultium-based vehicle, we do have our headlights baked into the top, so they're always there, but there is no physical hard switch, which is a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
And then you also have the, what's this called?
One pedal driving.
One pedal driving,
Okay.
you can turn on or off.
So right now it's on off.
Oh, yeah.
I have it set to high.
Will it stop? No one behind us?
I don't know why I took my hands off the wheel. It has nothing to do with this.
Oh.
Hey!
Full stop. It is legit one pedal.
You know, it's not like as like in your seat fast as I thought for a Type S.
Right, for that nearly 500 horsepower number, but it's not slow. It's just
no, but it's a good amount to like not be nauseating like every day on your drive.
Honestly, on the passenger side, it is a little bit, but it's not quite there.
And to end off the infotainment, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless both. The Blazer does not get that.
Right.
That is the best reason to get this over a Blazer SS, because like I'm not about to live my life without CarPlay.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
There's a line.
Yeah, Chevy crossed
I'm okay if Apple steals all my data. I'm not okay if Chevrolet/Honda steals all my data. Not yet.
That's right. And then we do have hard buttons for all of our climate. Very well laid out. Love it. We have heated and cooled seats. All that is great down here.
And they didn't take shortcuts with chip shortages. Look, we can see our temperature in the middle.
Ford looking at
dude,
you.
I feel like Ford's like, enough people didn't complain. We're never bringing it back.
Exactly. It would just be like a cost item for them now.
And back to the charging before you drive. You can control all this stuff with an app, preheat your car with an app, do all that stuff, unlock it. And I think with that app, you're also able to pay at almost every single charging station, including Tesla, because that's part of the network, until they get their Iona or whatever charging station with all the brands together to charge there. So hopefully in the next like 5-6 years, this will be able to charge very easily across almost every charging network.
Basically, as soon as they have Tesla.
Well, they have Tesla right now.
Don't you need an adapter that they have to send you or something?
I didn't say the Tesla adapter exists yet, but I think, you know, it's all going to be okay.
It's getting better.
Soon.
Yes.
Your turn.
All right. I'm going to do a brake boost. That's definitely the best way. Solid launch, like very good. It does throw you back in the seat as long as you brake boost it.
I think our necks are thick like Formula One drivers from doing launch controls.
We're getting there.
Where a regular person's twig neck would have no chance.
Yeah, that's right. You normies with your twig necks watching on your toilets.
Twig necks.
Just kidding. We love our viewers. You guys are twig necks.
We love our twig neck normies.
No, we've been to some meets where people have come and man, there's a lot of jacked people that like us. Okay, so let's get to this car. It is an electric vehicle. Let's talk range.
Hit me with it.
Up to 447 kilometers or 278 miles because this is the Type S. If you get the non-Type S, you actually get more range.
Yes, and if you get front-wheel drive only, you get even more range, but I don't know if that's coming to Canada.
And that would only be on the base anyways. So yeah, this is dual motor, all-wheel drive.
Wait, is the base A-spec?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool for your base.
It's accurate, right? Like,
yeah.
They can't make it too bad.
Too base, yeah.
So we do have actually a bunch of drive modes. Yuri and I have been driving in sport because you get a little bit more sound into the cabin. You also get individual, normal, snow, and that's about it. But you can also customize that through the infotainment, but you have to use this little switch on the left side to actually control that. You can't push your finger, even though it's a touchscreen.
And it doesn't even show anywhere that I can see that it was in sport mode.
There's a little thing right there on the gauge cluster, which changes.
Okay.
It's very small.
So I think in snow you get 2.5 millimeters of ride height increase, and in sport you get 1.5 lower ride height.
Yes, and this is air suspension, which is why we can actually vary that, and the suspension is really good.
Dude, comfy as hell.
It is noticeably better than the Honda Prologue, which was already pretty good, and because of their weight, tend to have difficulties hiding their weight, but this does it really well, and I think air suspension always solves EV problems in terms of suspension.
Yeah. This I feel like this is a great step in like disguising an EV car as a normal car.
Right, exactly. Like the range number is pretty good.
And like and the way it feels and drives, it's normal. Like the shifter, okay.
Yes.
Maybe if you're used to driving a Mercedes, it's on the turnstock, but it's once you get used to it, it's fine.
Yeah, but this drives honestly pretty great. For daily scenario, it's all good.
Does it drive itself?
It does actually. So we have Acura.
Hands-free cruise.
We have hands-free cruise or Acura cruise, whatever they want to call it. So it is full Super Cruise based on GM. You actually have the light up thing on your steering wheel to indicate that it works on pre-mapped highways and stuff like that.
Camera looking at your eyes.
Just like it does for GM, because it has to be all of the GM stuff, because GM pre-mapped this, and that's why this is based on that. And it comes by default on the Type S.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
All Type S's get this.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. We drove that to Pittsburgh and back, like no problem in a Cadillac. Blue Cruise has never worked for us. They keep telling us it works, but it's never worked for me. So
that is a Ford system.
That's Ford, yeah.
Yeah, but this has worked flawlessly in other cars that we've tested it in.
Yeah, not today.
Yeah.
Because we haven't tried.
And we haven't tried it because it won't work on these country roads that we're on. It only works on pre-mapped highways and stuff.
Yeah, we don't need to take a highway anywhere right now.
Not today. But back to that air suspension, it is adaptive, so it actually does change between the drive modes. So in sport mode, you do get a little bit more harshness, but not really anything to complain about at all.
Do you know what else changes with the drive modes?
What's that?
Ambient lighting.
Okay.
Which you can also customize. Guess how many colors there are?
69.
I wish. 26.
Oh, man.
20.
I mean, how many more colors do you need?
You know what? How about like infinity?
Like Mercedes with what,
like
128?
just give me like the full circle so I could just pick the exact one. Anyways, and you can do 2-zone, which is cool. And speaking of colors, when you're changing your sound settings on your Bang & Olufsen system, which we tested out, which was good.
You had to take a glance because Acura has always used
ELS Studio, yeah. And you can change the treble bass stuff, but it's not like a normal one. It's like you just change it and it picks your color. So it's like, oh, what was your favorite color? What was your favorite setting for treble and bass? Like, I don't know, magenta, maybe green.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is interesting.
It is interesting. And then we don't have any paddles because there's no transmission.
Shut your mouth.
We have paddles. Well, sorry.
We have paddle.
You're right. We have paddle. So,
hit me with full paddle.
Okay. That's my foot is not touching the brake. Oh.
Full stop.
There.
That's great. That's like a Bolt. Like sometimes you don't need to do the one pedal driving if you have that.
Yes, one paddle driving.
One paddle driving. Like,
but we do have
we
do have buttons behind the steering wheel to control the radio. So that's what I was gonna get at with. We don't have paddles, but we do have a paddle.
Paddle.
Yeah. But the steering wheel is actually really nice as well. It's like leather wrapped. And
Bro, it's Acura.
I know.
It's got to be nice.
Yeah, but GM buttons, which is okay.
Hey, they virtually with AR and VR technology designed this in the Acura Design Studio in California with Japan, and that's probably where they got this material from.
Absolutely, Yuri. More charging stuff. This can charge at up to 190 kilowatts, which isn't the fastest, but it is faster than the Honda Prologue.
Yeah, and most chargers are broken anyways if they go over 150. Nothing 300 ever works in our experience.
Right, so 190, if it's working, is actually pretty decent.
If you can get 150,
yeah.
That's pretty wild. Okay,
Visor test.
It feels like a Chevy visor. 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
And we say that in a good way because it slides.
And it's gonna pass, yeah. Cup holders, they look like they're gonna pass, but
huge,
they are huge.
Bro. They're huge. That's gonna pass for sure.
They're not very tall, but they're very wide.
And we have our first ever in an Acura wireless charging
Slot.
pocket.
Yes. And then we have this large space to put an iPad or something. Like, this is massive.
Yeah, we got a nice little section underneath here. USB-C connectivity, which is really nice to have.
And then I'm looking at my aluminum pedals, which actually, to be honest, look pretty cool for my driver. And it's not something that I ever noticed, but like, look at them.
They're very bright.
Yes.
Okay, the rest of this interior, it is a lot more softer materials than we had in the Prologue, but still we get some...
A little bit of hard plastic, but enough to mask that it's no longer the Honda.
Yeah.
And then no gloss black, like nothing. It's great.
Yeah. Yo, did you see the picture of the red interior?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Good job.
Acura, can you please start letting people have red interior on red paint?
Yes. And these seats are very comfortable up front. I believe they're unique to the Type S, at least the badging indicates that. They are fully leather, so they're very comfortable. We got presets on the driver and the passenger side.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's necessary on the passenger side, but it's nice to have.
And then adjustable lumbar, as I see you're doing it on this display screen.
Up, down, forward, and back on the passenger and driver. These are really comfortable seats. They match the air suspension and comfort of this vehicle nicely.
Yeah, like overall, the sense of driving this is actually quite nice. Like I'm very relaxed driving this, surprisingly.
Oh yeah, it says OnStar. Oh, that's called HonStar.
Oh boy. Moving on
It's not even a bad thing. It's fine.
Moving into the back seats. I actually fit at 6'1.5". My hair grazes the roof, but it is very comfortable back there. And then we do have an actual 3-prong power outlet back there.
And we got sunshades back there. Yeah, I think that would be good for baby seats and child seats and stuff. Seems like there'd be just enough room.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And with that last baby seat thing, what's towing? Yeah,
Actually, I think this does have a towing capacity. Let's put it up on the screen right now if I can get that number.
That's my new gimmick, is trying to get surprise Jacob with towing.
Man, now I gotta start looking up towing of like GT3s and stuff.
All right, with everything out of the way, I think it's time we get to the price.
Let's get to the price. It starts at $91,490.
Canadian.
And it ends there because there's one price for the Type S.
All right, well, yeah, that's expensive, but you have to charge more than the Honda. I'm pretty sure the Blazer SS is pretty expensive too. Everything is super expensive. Across every car, the prices go up like crazy all the time. And then buying this, you can use an Acura website to buy it.
It is all virtual online sales, apparently.
Yeah, it's something weird like that. Like, I'm sure you can still go into a dealership and get it, and I'm
That's
sure
what
you'll be
they
able to
said.
get them on TrueCar and everything. So if you do like this, if you're in the market for a Blazer SS or a Prologue or a ZDX, I haven't driven the Blazers, but I would recommend this because I'm not going to live my life without CarPlay. And I think this looks cooler than the Blazers.
100% agree as well.
Especially in this color and two-tone.
So go to tsp.truecar.com because you never said that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
So thanks for watching our Acura ZDX Type S on embargo day. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully we get the top 5. Top 5?
We look at stats for views, so if you guys give us more views, it makes us feel even better.
Yeah, just put the video on and go for a walk. Come back when it's done.
Do some dishes,
Give
whatever.
it a thumbs up.
All right, guys, we'll see you at the next video.
Which one's that going to be?
I actually don't know.
U-Wagon.
Maybe.